Good morning, everyone. This regular meeting of the Lone Star College System Board of Trustees is now called to order at 10:30 a.m. I've asked one of our STAR students to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'd come forward and introduce yourself and then lead us in the pledge, please.
I'm Frequentenza, and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I'll now move to roll call. Trustee Saldivar. Thank you. Trustee Wilson. Thank you. Trustee Broussard will be absent today. Trustee Stoma.
I'm here.
Online. Thank you. Trustee Mesa.
Here.
Thank you. Trustee Murillo.
I'm here.
Thank you. Trustee Vogt.
Present.
Thank you. Trustee Kane.
Present.
Thank you. And Sullivan's present as well. Chancellor Castillo, has notice for this meeting been posted?
Chairman, I certify that the notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the law, and also the notice to the public. Earlier this week, I notified the board that the administration would be withdrawing from consideration action item number 9 as a reminder to the board.
Yes, thank you, Chancellor Castillo. Ms. Barnett, we're at public comment. Has anyone signed up to offer public comment?
Yes, we have 3 public commenters in person today. The first one, Ms. Andrea Castro.
Please step forward, please, ma'am. Welcome. In accordance with board policy, each speaker is allowed to speak for up to 5 minutes. There is a timer on the podium with lights. When the light turns red, your time has expired. As a reminder, Lone Star College System policy states that, quote, the board may not respond to citizens' questions or comments on subjects not noticed on the agenda except to cite existing policies or state factual information, end quote. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Andrea Castro. This is my final semester as a distinguished global scholar in the Honors College in LSE Tomball. And in fact, tomorrow I will be presenting my research in the Honors International Education Conference on immigration policy. So please excuse me if I'm reading today. I've had a lot to memorize. I asked for this time in front of the board simply to say thank you to the board, to the chancellor, and to Lone Star College. 2 years ago, I transferred from Mexico to Tomball during the last 4 months of my senior year. And although I have always known that I want to pursue a career in law, at this point, I no longer knew how. So the process through which you become an attorney in Mexico is different. After graduating from high school, I would have gone straight to university, which is law school, and I would have received the equivalent to a bachelor's degree after 3 years of university. Because I got here a little bit late, however, I was not aware of the options that I had for college or even what the college system was. So I remember there was a college fair in high school where I remember having a student, an LSE student who later became a friend, try to explain to me what an associate's degree was, what choosing a major meant. And although she was very patient and she tried her best, I was still clueless about what that meant. So I met with the previous honors director, thinking she would help clear up some of these doubts that I had. Yet as I was sitting down in her office, I suddenly realized that I was in the middle of an interview to become part of the honors program. So now I may not have known a lot about the bureaucracy of how college worked, but I like to think that I'm good at adapting quickly and effectively to the situations that I'm in. So I remember she joyfully exclaimed that she had also been an English major after I mentioned that I enjoyed reading and writing. And it took me a long second, to confirm with a smile that yes, I was also an English major. In fact, that had always been the plan And I had not been confused before walking into her office. Um, and it is funny to think that we both learn this new piece of information about me at the same time. Yet, as of May 15th, next Friday, I will be receiving my Associate of Arts degree in English. So, thank you. But it has not just been honors. It's been my experience in LSC in general. There are classes that, even though I never imagined would help me by taking them, they have reminded me of why I want to become a lawyer in the first place. As a wise man once said, you practice law because you cannot perfect it. So it was these classes that continuously challenged me to learn about learning, about asking for help, about noticing the little things that are often ignored or they can be forgotten, that I realized why I want to become a lawyer. And so, for example, I love my geology class. Again, it has helped me to learn what learning means. And also that I was not born to become a geologist. So um, it is these experiences that really reminded me how important it is to recognize the work that you're doing today. And it has truly helped me turn from the doubts that I had before walking into this room of who's going to care about my story into the answer that there is someone who cares and they're all sitting in this room and in that Zoom meeting. And that is simply why I just wanted to come here and say thank you. So.
Congratulations and thank you for your comments. It's very kind of you to come and offer those words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Barnett, second speaker, please.
Mr. Frank Coronado.
Frank, you'll have 5 minutes, and when the red light goes off, your time will have expired. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Frank Atienza, and today I wanted to share with y'all a story about attaining the impossible, which only happened because I have been involved in Lone College. But let me explain. This happened around my second semester, so approximately a year ago, and I was starting to look for REUs or internships to do over the summer, when my chemistry professor emailed me an invitation to join a Rice University REU info session open to all community college students in the Houston area. So the day arrives, and I was so inclined and motivated to go that right as my afternoon class ended, I took an Uber because it was even before I had a driver's license. I took an Uber all the way from University Park to Rice University to make it to this one REU info session. But when I tell you that it was so worth it because it satisfied my every need as a researcher, as they discussed all the ideas and objectives and goals that the program offered. And as I discussed it, I visualized myself joining this program and being a part of it. Unfortunately, shortly after I had come up with ideas of what to write for my personal statement in the application, I realized that I was not eligible to apply to this REU because it was only acceptable for either US citizens or US residents. So nothing I could do as an immigrant. It is safe to say that I was devastated. And I remember that day I drove home with my mom really bummed, leaning against my car window, thinking of what could have been. But thankfully, the story does not end there because the day afterwards, I told my honors director about this one REU that I was so excited and motivated to attend, but it was simply not possible. However, as I was saying this, she had this pensive look on her face because days later, she would contact me and tell me that it was in fact possible for me to apply and participate in this REU as long as I was funded by Lone College as an international student instead of NSF. And so I applied to this REU. And so I got in. And when I tell you that it was so worth it as such a unique experience where I learned a lot and I solidified my decision to pursue research in the near future. So I wanted to share with you all this story for two reasons. Number one, to thank everyone in Lone Star, including my honors director, Chancellor Castillo, and pretty much anyone who makes opportunities such as these possible for students like me. And number two, then the second reason why I wanted to share this story is to serve as an example that if one persists long enough, what might seem impossible could actually be very much possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance today. Ms. Barnett, our third and last speaker, please.
Dr. John Bergdorf.
Dr. Bergdorf, I have to read the full disclosure. I should have read it for Frank. I apologize. Welcome. In accordance with board policy, each speaker is allowed to speak for up to 5 minutes. There's a timer on the podium with lights. When the light turns red, your time has expired. As a reminder, Lone Star College System policy states that the board may not respond to citizens' questions or comments on subjects not noticed on the agenda except to cite existing policies or factual information. Your time has begun. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Sullivan. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. John Bergdorf, President of the American Federation of Teachers at Lone Star College. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. As you all know, we are at the end of spring semester with final exams ahead of us next week, followed by graduation. It's our last big push, and honestly, Lone Star College faculty, staff, and administrators are just about as exhausted as our students are. I was upgrading last night, most of the night, so I'm tired too. So today I'm going to highlight just a few small points, and then I'm going to sit down to rest. I want to simply acknowledge a couple of things that Lone Star College does really, really well this time of year. Tuesday afternoon, most of my students were 5 minutes late to class. And when they finally came in, they were all carrying little brown boxes. I'm not concerned that they were late, but I was curious about the boxes. By Chancellor Castillo's directive, Lone Star College buys lunch for all of our students on all of our campuses a couple of days right before finals. This is a cool gesture. Our students have been pulling all-nighters and not eating properly, and I can tell you that they were genuinely touched and impressed. The thoughtful gesture buoys the spirits of faculty and staff also. With 97,000 students, lunch for everyone is no small thing, but it is a really fine thing that does a lot of good. I mentioned our graduation ceremonies earlier, and I know that just about everyone in this room will be attending one or more of these ceremonies next week. I don't know if everyone realizes this, but Lone Star College does graduation really, really well. Before coming to teach here, starting at the Kingwood campus long ago, I taught for another community college system in our area, which I will not name. Commencement exercises there were held on folding chairs in a back room that I'm pretty sure was a loading dock. There were no decorations. Someone played Pomp and Circumstance way too slowly on an out-of-tune piano. The trustees were always given cheap robes that didn't fit right, and for some reason were always wrinkled. The students and their families were sternly warned not to make any noise. By contrast, Lone Star commencement exercises are fun and festive and rival the sophistication of premier universities. There are banners and maces and bands and choirs. So many of our students are the first in their families to graduate from college and have gotten where they are in spite of considerable adversity. It is great that we make their graduation so special. Also, we may very well be the only community college in the state to offer a commencement in Spanish. What a great way for making students and families from every background feel included and welcomed. Lastly, I want to take a minute to wish a happy retirement to Tater Tot, the Lone Star Police Department comfort dog. I've never had the opportunity to meet Tater Tot, but I've heard from students and employees who had just seen him around campus and who had had their days really brightened. I am very glad that today the board will vote to hand over ownership of Tater Tot to his handler, Officer Emily Tate, who will love him and take care of him. So here's wishing Tater Tot a long and happy retirement. our students good luck on their finals and all their future plans, and our employees a chance for some much needed rest. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Barnett, just to confirm, there are no additional public speakers?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Well, now that we've heard from all speakers, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. It's now time for approval of the minutes of the April 2nd, 2026 regular meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes? No corrections. May I have a motion to approve the minutes? Have a motion by trustee Wilson. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Saldivar. Thank you. We'll now take a vote. Trustees, when I state your name, please say aye if you're in favor, nay against. Trustee Saldivar?
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Wilson? Thank you. Trustee Broussard is absent. Trustee Stoma?
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Mesa?
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Murillo?
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Vogt?
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Kane? Aye. Thank you. Sullivan votes aye. The item passes. We'll now move to special reports and announcements. Chancellor Castillo, do you have any special reports or announcements?
I do, Chairman. Thank you. So I'm going to start first with previous and forthcoming events. So we had the Step Up Show Out, the Step Show on April 10th. Thanks. We had a lot of trustees there. I want to thank you for coming out. It was the second annual one. And we had a great turnout. Thanks to Dr. Wright and see, I'm having a senior moment, believe it or not. Thank you, Dr. Moss. I'm not as young as I once was. These Chancellor years, they're like dog years. All right. So, yeah, thanks to Dr. Moss, I'm sorry, and Dr. Wright and Elizabeth Bueno and Dominique Broussard. They did an excellent job. Every year it gets better, as all things should. With every year, it was better and better. Dr. Reedhart had even a really cool cameo at the beginning of the video. If you haven't seen that was pretty cool. And it's just a really joyful event. So if you missed it this year or last year, I encourage you to go next year. We also had the Jack Kent Cook Scholarship Luncheon on April 24th. That was a really nice event for the 19 semifinalists that we had. And again, that's tied for first in the country. I mentioned that at our third event that I want to reference, the Lone Star College Foundation Star Gala was on May 2nd. From 6 to 9 was the program, but there was people there here until midnight. I was not one of them. We have forthcoming events. We have spring commencement starting on May 9th, which is Saturday, with the commencement in Spanish graduation, all the way up to the 16th. I believe it's 11 of them. We have 11 commencement ceremonies. I believe there are 6,000 students walking across the stage, and we have a total of a little less than 15,000 students graduating this spring. So invite everyone to come out to those. And yes, I'm the one that MCs the one in Espanol, so I'll keep it in English for y'all. But I always make a point to tell people, this is a lifetime achievement. Feel free to yell, scream, air horn, whatever you have, and the person reading the name will just go a little bit slower because everyone deserves their moment. And so I'm glad to hear that. We also have, for those of you procrastinators, Mother's Day is coming up. I'm grateful this year that American Mother's Day and Mexican Mother's Day is on the same day, because every year I have this sort of, which one do I celebrate? And then I end up celebrating both just to make sure I cover all my bases. And so I'm grateful that this year it's the same day. We have the Memorial Day holiday coming up on May 25th. And then, of course, after Memorial Day is the summer work schedule that we have here at the institution. And then as far as recognitions, Chair, thank you. I want to take a moment to recognize our faculty representatives, formerly known as Faculty Senate Presidents. And we have them here. And so before we are going to take a picture, and I warned all of you, so you came anyway. So we just want to take a minute. With the advent of SB 37, I think there was a lot of sort of concern at this institution and really higher ed in general about how SB 37 was going to play out between shared governance and faculty and academic freedom. I'm really proud of the work that we've done together over the last year, in particular, the last 2 years. And it is, let me tell you, for those of you that have never sat in one of these meetings, they are lively, they are very direct, sometimes heated, but always civil. And I think that, and I'll tell you, every single one of these representatives at one point or another brought me an issue or a conflict or something that we needed to resolve. And to the student that wants to be a lawyer, one of the biggest tips that I have for you is that it's an art form to disagree with someone without being disagreeable. And I think that really good lawyers can disagree without being disagreeable. And I think that's kind of what we've had over the last 2 years. There have been to make sure that you guys keep your street cred with the other faculty. Let me be really clear. No one in that group over there is a pushover. No one just says yes, Chancellor, in that room because I'm the Chancellor. The faculty have had some really, really strong advocates in that room. As have the administrators, I'll tell you. Like, one of the things that I tell the faculty is when you come into this room, you guys are representing your faculty. My job is to represent the administrators, and I give as good as I take, and they'll tell you. But I personally wanted to thank y'all because I think that this institution is better for your service. It's better because we can have candid and open conflict. But I think we've done the very best that can be expected to resolve it. And so I'm grateful for your service. And so if we give them a round of applause, please. And so as I call you up, if you could please walk over here, we're going to take the picture over here. So from Cy-Fair, Professor Hall, from Houston North, Professor LaSalle, from Kingwood, Professor Dalvey, from Montgomery, Professor Waits, from North Harris, Professor Welsh, from Tomball, Professor Colby, from University Park, Professor Donnelly, and from LSE Online, Professor Davis. All right, we got And so also, I told my staff to get you t-shirts that said, I gave up 2 years of teaching for this and all I got was the t-shirt, but they told me we couldn't do that. So instead, we got you some little mementos there to hopefully take home or put in your office. Once again, thank you to each and every one of you. You have helped me become a better chancellor. I think we have a better institution because we are able to have very sort of candid and worthwhile conversations. And we have some of the new folks as well. If you're one of the new folks that is taking over subject to our new sort of procedures, will you please stand up so that people at least know what you look like? There you go. And as I tease Professor LaSalle, he and I are the only ones that are returning for another round. So I want to thank the board again publicly. The board could have handled this in a very different way as many institutions of higher education across the state have handled it. I want to thank the board for the trust placed in me to figure it out with the faculty, and the two of us work collaboratively to come up with a system that not only complies with the law, but also honors our tradition and the culture of our institution. So I want to publicly thank the board on behalf of all of the administration and the faculty as well. We couldn't have done this work without you. And so thank you, Chairman, and that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor, and congratulations to everyone for being recognized. Excuse me. Next item on our agenda is the Chancellor's Cabinet, Vice Chancellor, Finance Administration, Dr. Christy Vian. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm excited to share an overview of our new mental health and wellness program. The development of this program was with the support and direction of the Chancellor and the board to address the overall wellness and mental health of our students in a more intentional, thorough, and strategic manner. We wanted to enhance the care, strengthen wraparound support, improve crisis response, and increase cross-campus collaboration. We wanted a model that had licensed clinicians delivering comprehensive multimodality services for both our in-person and online students. We knew to fully deploy the program and services we wanted, we needed to bring the program back in-house. We knew to build a first-class mental health and wellness program, we wanted to expand programs and services while also being budget neutral. We desired to hire licensed chief mental health officer, clinicians, and case managers to ensure that our service levels were consistent and appropriate across all campuses. We wanted to implement electronic health software program to maintain confidential records. We wanted to collaborate and integrate existing services to ensure a wellness component of our model to ensure that was in place for all of our students. And we also wanted to ensure that students received a continued support throughout the transition. We wanted this model to align with advancing academic excellence, delivering integrative services and wraparound support that strengthen student success and completion. We wanted an ecosystem approach, allowing us to align strategic community partnerships with our employee well-being program to create a comprehensive and coordinated system. And lastly, we wanted institutional impact. We wanted to improve student outcomes and then foster a culture of well-being across the Lone Star student. We wanted this alignment to also not only achieve our objectives, but to align with Lone Star strategic priorities in place. We knew to do this, we needed several core service areas, including mental health, care for completion, student employee well-being, and coming fall of 26, financial wellness and student legal services. This initiative also directly aligns with G2 T5, with the target KPI to achieve a 65% wraparound service utilization rate among non-dual credit students by 2030. To align this, strategic framework had to be based on 3 key pillars: capacity, awareness, and coordination. Capacity to ensure that adequate resources and services and partnerships are available to students across our system to meet the students where they are. Awareness, ensuring that our students are actually understand what services are available to them, how to access those services, and how those services support their student success. And then lastly, coordination. We wanted to strengthen communication and collaboration amongst the campuses, but also with our student support teams and our external partners to connect students to the right services efficiently and timely. Dr. Stokes has worked diligently to intentionally build out a team consisting of 3 key areas. So this is where we are today. The first of which is our mental health services, led by Dr. Linda Leon. The scope of practice for this area includes accessible support, a collaborative approach, and continuum of care. The current services being offered under this mental health services team includes individual counseling, group counseling, career counseling, consultation for students, faculty, staff, and parents, as well as resource and referral. All of these items are offered to our students both in person and virtual. The services that will only be provided in person include crisis intervention, assessment, and diagnostic. During our soft launch, which occurred in March of 2026, we saw tremendous support and outreach. We received referrals from across the system, and in only the first month of service, the team had served 22 direct referrals and 51 counseling sessions were provided. In addition to the direct counseling, the team participated in system-wide open houses in May, where over 100 students interacted with our clinical staff. As we work till our full launch in June of 2026, the goal is to continue to expand operation, increase campus presence, including at new student orientations, welcome week, faculty meetings, And then we want to have additional services rolled out for August of 2026 with continued service enhancement and program expansion. We want to continue to work with the campuses and the presidents and the community to identify challenges or any gaps in services and support that may be identified, and work together to address those needs and resources as we continue to fully roll out the program. The second tier of this overarching area is student employee well-being, led by Julie Wrightsey, Director. The scope of services of this area is really our educational programming and outreach team. They handle the training and hosting of educational workshops and events to educate both students, faculty, and employees. This was an existing team for the system that was transitioned and moved under wellness and health management to better align and support all of our wraparound services. In just the short time since we've transitioned this team, they have served over 700 participants in a variety of outreach programs. Looking forward to the fall in 2026, this is just a sampling of some of the sessions that this team has planned to roll out to the campus for, again, our faculty, staff, and students to have the opportunity to receive key training on educational opportunities and sessions that may help them with their overall well-being. And last, but certainly not least, is our Care for Completion team, led by Dr. Carolina Redman. This has been a vital team, as you all know, that connects students to critical resources, including food, housing, financial, and emergency assistance. This key team has been spearheaded by Dr. Wright and the presidents, and this has been stewarded since 2024 with tremendous success. Our goal is to continue to build upon the wonderful foundation that has been established and continue to expand in our outreach to this area and continue to bring vital resources to our students. As you can see, over close to 8,000 students had requests during that period, with over 5,000 students served. The CARE team has provided targeted emergency aid, helping students navigate short-term financial crisis and remain enrolled. The CARE team uses data-driven decisions to enable real-time data collection, identify trends, and allocate resources to students. We have an extensive communication plan underway to ensure our students know how to connect with our team for support. We want to educate faculty, staff, and students on our services to ensure they can refer students and collaborate with our team. I know that this was just a brief overview of all the exciting work that this wonderful team has been putting together for the system, but I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you, Dr. Viana. I have a couple of questions, but I'll ask my colleagues first. Trustee Vogt, any questions or comments?
Can we take advantage of these?
I'm sure we can take care of that, sir.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Wilson.
Yep, I was gonna.
Thank you, Trustee Murillo. Trustee Kane.
No questions, but I did want to say thank you for putting this together. This is something that will be of tremendous benefit to so many students. So thank you.
Trustee Mesa.
Likewise, I'm really excited for this, and not just for our institution, but for the students. It's something that is extremely important. And it just looks like a great program overall. I have one question. I know in the first slide you mentioned moving away from third party or contracting or using third parties. Is there any aspect of this that will still require that?
Yeah, great question, Trustee Mesa. And for clarification, the model's goal was to move away from our existing provider in that model, if you will. But no, absolutely, the team is working right now to look at what those gap services might be, such as like psychiatry, additional. I mentioned community resources, right? There are different partnerships in the community that are beyond our long-term approach, right? These are brief counseling sessions to help immediate need, but some of our students may need longer-term access to additional resources, even inpatient things. So we are working on partnerships and MOUs with agencies to be able to be referred our students and be able to serve where there may be gaps in our services. So we're not eliminating all third party, but we wanted to bring our key clinicians back in-house so they could address those immediate needs. And then we could contract with any additional resources where either the staff or the presidents or the students themselves tell us that gaps may be identified. So great question.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Viana.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Mesa. Trustee Saldivar.
Thank you. I do have some comments. Thank you for the presentation. It was really good. I just want to highlight how, mental health is a very important, item in our society and obviously in here, in our college. But I also want to highlight the good work that you guys are doing. Everyone who's working on this, it's needed. I appreciate you. I know it's hard work, but it is needed. And also want to a good shout out to Trustee Wilson and Trustee Pierce, because I remember back in the years, both of y'all, obviously we all advocate for this, but both of y'all were highlighting the important matter, and so we appreciate you. It's coming to fruition, so we have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Saldivar. I have one question. If you don't know the answer to it, you can just send it to me later. One of your slides mentioned a target KPI of 65% by 2030, except for dual credit students. So do you have any idea what the current KPI might be? If the target goal is 65, where are we today?
I'll follow up with you on that data. We do have some of that in the slide information, but I want to make sure we get the most updated information for you on that.
Good.
So.
And then the second question has to do with the bullet point financial wellness. Could you describe that?
Yes. So a lot of times when we talk about wraparound support, a student may come to one of our clinicians and be suffering from depression, and the clinicians can address the clinical support of that depression, but the underlying aspect of the depression may be because the student can't pay their bills or they don't have access to groceries or paying their rent, right? And that is an underlying root cause of the depression. So we want to be able, which is the reason all of these things are under the same umbrella, so that the clinicians can actually refer the students to a team that can work with the student and sit down with them and not just address financial aid that we already have teams for, but can help the student. Have they applied for financial assistance? Do they have WIC? Can they get any other resources from the state or federal agencies to support them? And be able to sit down with them and work on a budget and planning. So there are almost individual counselors that can address that specific need, because we can treat the student clinically all we want, but if we don't address the underlying root cause, then we're just going to keep seeing that student. So we want to be able to teach someone to fish, not just provide the fish for them. So that wellness support will be able to help students actually lean into their finances and see where we can help address them long term. So.
Okay, good. Thank you. Very beneficial.
Yes.
Appreciate the report.
Yes, sir.
Chair, I have some comments. It's a Stoma. I have some comments, please.
Chair recognizes Trustee Stoma.
First of all, I'd like to request that you send this presentation to all the trustees, please.
Yes, sir.
Secondly, I've lived this with my grandson through, the Lone Star College system and through a lot of other long path to get him the right care and guidance that he needs. Currently, he's in a men's development program through the Star of Hope mission, which is an excellent organization. These partnerships you talk about are key, because I can tell you for that, those in the fourth or fifth deviation, those are who are in the 10 or 20% that we cannot help. We must be able to point them in the right direction so they can get help. And that is not easy to find. That is not easy to connect. The hours I've spent and the expense I've spent going through getting him to the right people, to the right program, have been tremendous. So I can't emphasize enough the engagement of the right partners to continue helping those that we're just not going to be able to help directly. And I would like certainly for you, your team, this organization that you've described, to keep the board update on progress as you build out this capability. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And if the chair would allow me, I would be remiss. I know you shared your thanks, but really the thanks is due to a large team. And I'd like to be able to, with your permission, recognize Dr. Stokes and all of the individuals who've joined us today and all the hard work that they've been doing to actually put this program together. So.
Can they stand?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Please. Could y'all stand, please? Thank you.
We'll clap again.
as well as I know Trustee Wilson and Trustee, former Trustee Pierce here at Will. Thank you for your support on bringing this to our attention, allowing our team to help bring this to fruition. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item on the
I'm sorry,
agenda is,
Chairman, can I be recognized?
yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah,
So sorry.
Dr. Vian, will you go back for me a few slides? I want to really highlight the point that Chairman Sullivan made with regard, these meetings are for the public,
Yes, sir.
right? They're not for our benefit, they're for the benefit of the public. So I want to go back to where you had, I think, legal services and
Yeah,
it
going
was
back.
an org chart.
Yes, sir. I'm going back. Sorry. Is this the one, sir?
Yes, this is good enough. Thank you. So one of the things that I wanted to really sort of highlight is this idea that Dr. Vian was talking about with regard to, when the public sees us and says, why are you hiring a student legal services person? Why are you hiring a financial wellness person? What is student employee care for completion? Right? Because when we first started talking about this, it was mental health services, right? But as you highlighted, I want to really sort of highlight this point for the public is that we have to start dealing with the underlying causes for these acute or sometimes chronic issues, right? Like you can't just manage a mental health episode or a mental health incident and then wish people well and then expect them not to sort of have the same incident later. And so the reason that we're doing this is if you're getting evicted, for example, and that's what's creating the stress, then we need to help you with that eviction. And that's the point of the student legal services. If you are in financial disarray or you're having financial struggles, that's the point of financial wellness. And so the idea is to not just treat the episode, but to treat the situation so that the episodes can be managed better by the human beings that are undergoing that. So I wanted to highlight that point. And then as well, I did want to recognize, because I purposely left former trustee Pierce out of my recognitions because I knew you were going to do this. And so I did want to recognize that former trustee Pierce is sitting right here in the front row. For those of you that can't see her, she's right here in the front row. And she, along with Trustee Wilson and really the entire board, right? The entire board has to support this in order for us to make it happen. But I know that for former Trustee Pierce, this was a top priority. And like most things at this institution, it took a lot longer than I would have liked, but here we are. And so better, as I always tell people, right? A dream delayed is not a dream denied. And so here we are, and we actually have our own mental health services branch now. Congratulations, Dr. Stokes and her staff. And you can see just by the amount of people that stood up that this is a serious commitment. We're not just checking a box because we care about our entire, all individuals, right? Because as our mission statement says, we help individuals get from where they are to where they want to be. And individuals include students and employees. And we can't help people get from where they are to where they want to be if their mental health is not as healthy as we would like for it to be. So thank you, Dr. Vian. And with that, Chairman, thank you for the
Yes, sir.
indulgence.
You bet. Before you leave, let me make sure that we have
Yes,
you
sir.
covered. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't want to appear to be rushing us because I'm not trying to rush us.
Understand, sir.
So any other comments or questions for Dr. Vian? Okay. Trustee Stoma, you good? Any additional comments for the program or Dr. Vian?
No, I don't. Just carry on and keep us informed because this is extremely important. Certainly in my world, it is.
Okay. Thank you, Trustee Stoma. Thank you, Dr. Vian.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. We'll now move to the next item on the agenda, which is faculty representative. I also need to make a note for the record that Trustee Mesa stepped out at 11:12 a.m. Faculty representative, Professor Marisol Hall, please proceed to the podium for your presentation. Thank you.
Good morning, members of the board and Chancellor Castillo. My name is Marisol Hall, and I have been a biology professor at Lone Star Sci-Fair for 23 years, and I'm their current FPAC representative. Today, I'll be sharing with you some faculty perspectives on honors and international education. I've been teaching in honors and international education for 3 years, and I've been the lead faculty in HIE at Sci-Fair for only 1 semester. But being a part of this group has made such a positive impact on me personally that I was motivated to examine the HIE faculty experience system-wide. Clearly, honors and international education is an incredible opportunity for our students. And these are just a small sample of this year's highlights. We've had 2 Barry Goldwater Scholarship recipients, and there they are, Sebastian Marcano and Aaron Pergler. And I'd like to note that this is the same number as Yale and 1 less than Harvard, so we still have a little work, but we're getting there. We have 46 students shared their research at a regional conference, the Great Plains Honors Consortium, and recently we had 11 students present at the largest undergraduate research conference in the country. And not that I'm competitive, but 3 are from Sci-Fair and 2 are my own students from Biology 2, but really who's counting? So, but while we know that HIE is a great opportunity for students, my question was really, what is the impact of teaching in HIE on the faculty? For some context, we have over 100 faculty across the system. We've offered over 500 sections from fall 24 to summer of 26, and the majority of those sections are taught by full-timers, indicating strong support from faculty. And we offer a wide variety of classes, as you can see, across 6 different areas. But while facts and accolades are wonderful, I think there's a story about HIE that isn't exactly captured in statistics. It's a more personal take that I think will become clear through this presentation. But first, I wanted to share a few key parts of my own story. At about 20 years of teaching, I noticed that students had changed. Techniques that worked previously didn't land the same way, and it was harder to get students to speak up in class. I tried changing my techniques and adding new content, but I actually started to feel anxiety going to class. I was feeling burned out, and I began to question if teaching was in fact for me anymore. It was around this time that Aurora Lugo, the HIE director at Sci-Fair, finally convinced me to teach the honors biology. She asked me, if you could create a new biology class, what would you do? I answered, we needed to emphasize the foundational steps of science, curiosity, observation, hypothesis creation. She said, great, do that. She challenged me to create a class that covers the student learning outcomes, but also emphasize the other aspects of science that I found invigorating and necessary. The first day I met with my honors biology class, I was shocked. These students asked more questions about the syllabus in one class period than I had ever had in my previous 20 years combined. I finally had to tell them to stop asking questions. Please save them for later. After class, I went to the director's office and exclaimed, I have found my people. It turns out my people were both my students and the director who listened to and encouraged my ideas. More recently, after the Honors Undergraduate Research Day in December, I was speaking with my dean, Dr. Hewlett Abden. She had passed on the honors biology classes to me as she became the dean. She remarked that I seemed really happy. She said, this fills your cup, doesn't it? And I answered her, absolutely. She could see a fulfillment, a light in me that was shining that I had not had in a long time. In reflecting on this presentation and my own story, I recognized my experiences could be translated into 3 themes. Teaching in HIE is mentally stimulating. Finding my people was actually relationship building. And my cup being full translated to fulfilling my purpose. And in true HIE research fashion, I created a research statement. Honors in international education provides an experience for faculty that is mentally stimulating, allows for greater connection with students and colleagues, and makes the educator's sense of purpose tangible as we witness the growth of our students. To test the validity of my research statement, I sent a series of questions to HIE faculty across the system to gather the experiences they felt were important from their time in honors and international education. I found that others valued the academic challenge just as much as I did. Dr. Sampara Dalvi from Kingwood valued the opportunity to really delve into beloved literature classes and pass on the spark of loving literature to a younger generation. She too felt the freedom to create her dream class. Dr. Keith Altavilla finds mental stimulation through students' research projects, seeing what really interests them and relating it to what historians do, and the feeling of discovery when students finally make their research choices. Dr. Dario Martinez values the unique opportunity of extending his hands-on building skills that he developed elsewhere and bringing them to the classroom to help students build their own hands-on physics projects. When it comes to building connections, Brian Henry from UP said that HIE is a community within a community at LSC. And it's also an opportunity to develop authentic relationships that last longer than your class. Susan Allen from North Harris teaches an international studies designated anatomy and physiology class. Teaching pre-nursing students, Susan discusses different medical practices from around the world. She says that students feel more comfortable sharing their experiences. They no longer hide their origins, but instead share cultural medicinal knowledge. This builds trust and community in her classroom. Due to smaller class sizes and research mentoring, we often have more one-on-one time with our students. And as Dr. Lewis points out, we get to learn more about each student. With her experience with a particular student who did seek and get professional help, it says it all. The student expressed, "I really feel seen here. I know I have support." But the connections are not just with students. They're also with our colleagues. This is our current HIE faculty picture at Sci-Fair. It's clear we all love getting together for the requisite group photo. And much like your family Christmas photo, someone always ends up not looking at the camera. Dr. Martinez noted the importance of the support of the smaller cohort of HIE faculty, but the cohesiveness of the smaller cohort doesn't happen if the broader leadership doesn't exemplify the same values. I have felt appreciated and valued by the leadership in honors and international education. Dr. Caruso welcomed me as lead faculty by assuring me that I am in fact part of a bigger system-wide team. This final section is where I encountered the most responses from around the system. Haley Stoner's comment exemplifies the progress we get to see. It is incredibly satisfying to witness a student's growth from beginning to end, and I agree the growth in their confidence and professionalism is indeed astounding. Dr. Cruz Casiano says, "It has been a rewarding part of my career to see our workforce students be a part of the IS education community. I get to see them evolve and grow." Dr. Lewis remarked, "My favorite is seeing how much students thrive from these opportunities in HIE." Dr. Altavilla stated, "It's gratifying to see students' presentations improve from the course through conference prep and all the way to actual presentation day." And Dr. Dalby's favorite thing is getting to see their research topics and their work come to fruition. For me, one of the most gratifying parts of working in HIE is progressing with students in their research to conferences. I love to see the hard work they've done all semester transformed into pride on their faces. These students are my students, Ayato Tamura, Benjamin Elizondo, and Madeline Snow. All three created national conference-worthy research, and seeing these students thrive is a gift. In determining the impact of HIE on the faculty, I think it's best to take it in the context of the words from Chancellor Castillo written in the strategic plan. We must choose to center people first. If we take care of the people will take care of us. In an increasingly digital and artificial world, basic human decency and humanity will be a competitive advantage. Lone Star College wins whenever both of our people win together, students and employees. Having the option of teaching in HIE is taking care of the people. We've seen across the system, faculty feel the positive impact similarly. It is academically challenging. It provides a nurturing community, and it is personally gratifying to see our students from beginning to end. If these career needs are met, then my cup is full. And if my cup is full, that means I can pour into my students until their cups are full. And in that case, truly, both students and employees win together. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you today.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Before you leave, let me just see if there are any comments or questions. Trustee Stone, have any comments or questions?
No, sir. No, sir, I don't.
Thank you. Thank you. Trustee Murillo? Trustee Kane?
No questions, but again, thank you very much for all that you and so many people in that program do, because it makes a big difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Mesa.
Likewise, thank you so much, and for all your work and opportunities you provide to our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Saldivar. Thank you, Trustee Vogt.
Keep it up.
Thank you, Trustee Wilson.
Thank you for the presentation. It was very good to see. Chancellor, you're quoted. But I just want to say, I know being in honors, I know it could be really challenging. And to see that you all have taken those students under y'all wing and to give them the education that they really need so they can go out and fill somebody else's cup. I think that's a great analogy, and keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you for the comments. Thank you very much for the presentation. Before I call the next item, just let the record reflect Trustee Mesa rejoined the meeting at 11:15 a.m. And Trustee Mesa, I'm not keeping tabs on you. I just have to record when people come and go from the quorum. All right, thank you. Next item is board members. Trustees, do you have any special reports or announcements? I'll start online first. Trustee Stoma.
No, I don't. Thank you.
Thank you. Start on my right, continue on my right. Trustee Vogt, any reports or announcements? Everybody was surprises. Yeah. Thank you. Trustee Wilson.
So I want to say, I also attended the step show. And it was awesome, and it just gets bigger and better every year, like the chancellor stated. I was also a part of the scholarship luncheons, the gala as well, and then the Jack Kent Cook luncheon as well, which was really awesome. And I just want to say, I just think Lone Star is really on the move, and we got to stay on the move. We got to keep moving in order to see the progress, right? You might think, oh, we just doing stuff. No, when we keep moving, the progress will be done, the work will be done. So everybody just keep up the great work.
Thank you. Trustee Maria.
Yeah, I attended the gala, Star Gala, and of course it was great. Well executed. Congratulations to everyone who was part of that or organizing that event. You can tell the level of support Lone Star College has from throughout the region, from folks who see the success and show their support by being part of this awesome event. And I wanted to say that, we know that aligning everyone's efforts with measurable student outcomes takes hard work and resolve. And yes, it takes resource alignment. In other words, we must ensure that the staff has the necessary resources, but as a driven mission institution, we know that the heart of the process is the why, right? And I bring that up because at this event, our chancellor always manages to surprise us with the eloquence and his clear focus and explanation, and kind of reminds us that what we're all about, right? And I didn't want this to I want to make sure that I brought it up, Chancellor Castillo, because I think several individuals afterwards complimented you and the college, and they understand what we're doing. You have a way of articulating with so much precision and hope and determination, because they know he means it, right? And it and I don't know how articulated as well as he can, but everything we're about here, the thing, he manages to articulate it in a way that everybody understands. So anyway, I wanted to compliment you for that. Also, one other announcement. I attended on Tuesday, April 28th, Lone Star College Kenwood's 250 Years of Independence Festival. Bernardo de Galvez and Allies of Freedom. It was music. Dr. Gonzalez, congratulations. Music, dance, art, and history reflections by special guest. I brought out my inner history geek. It was just, interesting. I mean, I just wanted to take it all in and, wish we always want to have more time, but I definitely will follow up with some of the folks I met there. So congratulations to you. And I know your staff worked hard. I could tell. So thank everyone and congratulations. That's it.
Thank you, Trustee Murillo. Trustee Kane.
I had the pleasure of attending the Jack Kent Cook Scholarship Luncheon. 19 semifinalists that tied for the highest number of semifinalists across the United States. That's very, very impressive. And the students who spoke to the group at the luncheon were just absolutely outstanding. It was a real pleasure being there. And then the gala that took place Saturday night. This was absolutely outstanding as well. The people who were supported, the people who were honored, the people who received scholarships, the student performers was just really spectacular. So I want to thank everybody who was involved in putting all of that together, because I know there's a lot of work that goes into that. So my thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Trustee Kane. Trustee Mesa.
I have a few things. And building on the comments of my colleagues, the step show, was incredible. Again, another year of amazing performances. I actually had to step out, unfortunately, and I missed one of the winning performances, and I was trying to rush back and I missed it. But yeah, it's a great event, and I know it's going to continue to get better and bigger every year. So kudos, Dr. Wright, to you and your colleagues and your team for an amazing event. I also attended the Jack Kent Cook luncheon, and just incredibly impressed with some of these young scholars. And it was good to see some familiar faces from the DC trip and the Star Gala as well. An amazing event. I'm also curious, along with Trustee Voas, as far as how much we've raised, and to know how big of the impact was. Finishing off, the runoff elections are coming up. And so just another friendly reminder, we just had an election conclude for State Senate District 4, which is our part of town. And so we have a new state senator up there. And there's an election going on right now for City Council District C. And there's a runoff election for that. And I haven't been keeping up with as far as turnout, but I could expect it to be low. And at the end of this month, on Tuesday, May 26th, is election day for countywide and statewide runoff elections for both parties. So again, another reminder and encouragement for everybody to get out there and vote, and to remind your people to vote, please. And then the last thing, I want to give a shout out to my father, Carlos. He is retiring this year. Finally, he hasn't wanted to retire, but he's doing it this year, and he's going to be honored Friday night at a banquet at Spring ISD, and he's going to be earning his 30-year pin that Friday night, and I'll be joining him. So I want to give a shout out to my dad. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Mesa. Trustee Saldivar.
Yes, I have several comments. That's okay. Promise it won't take long. First, like my colleagues, I also attended the gala. It's a very wonderful, fun event. I know that it takes a lot to make it happen, so we want to thank and congratulate for everyone who worked on the gala. On the side note, a personal side note, my sister and I, we tried to outbid several folks for several items, and we didn't win, but we won the one that I wanted, which is a Coach, which I'm wearing right now. It's a Coach little bracelet. So I put a lot of money into it, but I feel really great that I won. I think someone had told me, in order to win an item or outbet someone, try to wait at the very last second. And so that's what I did, and I happened to win. So now I know for next time. What else? I saw a couple of students arrive. If y'all could stand up, I just want to make sure that it's in a classroom, or is it a particular classroom? Is it a government class? I see you taking notes. So is it a government class? Oh, which Texas government? Oh, okay. Is your professor here? Would you please come up? I'm sorry, I don't want to put you out there, but yes.
And live stream.
Hi,
Well-
my name's Lori Moyer. I'm a professor of government here at UP. And I try to bring at least once a semester a Texas government course when it aligns to a board meeting, because you guys are the localest of local governments for us
Yeah.
here. And I try to impress upon my students that y'all are accessible, right?
Mhm.
That's what makes you the localest of localest. And that y'all are setting their tuition rates and, in charge of hiring people and making sure that we have resources to educate them and keep them energized and going. So thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much. And that's why we have these types of meetings. And to our students, you can sit down. And to our students, just want to make sure that you are aware that this is your boardroom. We are here for you. Our doors are always open, and there's anything that you need, or if you just want to talk to us, please do that. Like your professor, just want to make sure that that we're there for you. Administration is there for you. The chancellor is there for you. And so again, this is your board, and this is your boardroom, and this is your college. So thank you for being here. Hopefully we're not boring you. We can talk a lot sometimes. What else? The third one is, I know Dr. Bird have talked about Tater Tot, our canine, who's who's retiring this month, I believe. And so I asked the chancellor, I gave him a little note, and I asked the chancellor if he could please bring Tater Tot, canine Tater Tot, next board meeting. I love dogs. And so I just want to make sure we can bring him here or her and we can congratulate him or her and give our canine a little certificate of retirement. So let's do that. And then lastly, you see, I hear yes. Where is it? Yes. Yes. Let's do that. And then lastly, I just want to congratulate Andrea and Frank. Are you still here? I see Andrea and Frank. Thank you so much. That was wonderful to hear both of you. We want to congratulate for all that you do. You guys spoke eloquently, better than us. And so keep on going. And for Andrea, if you want to pursue your law degree, which I know that you will, I'm sure you're going to have space here at our law department, right? So come and intern for us and see if it's something that you would like to do. I put it out there. Sorry, Nancy. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Trustee Saldivar. I'm going to try to top that, but I know I won't be successful. So been a busy month, several activities. Want to just kind of breeze through them if I could. I attended Texas Public Policy Foundation on behalf of Lone Star, registered through Lone Star. They had panels on higher education. It also enabled me to visit with various elected officials that are involved in higher ed with the state of Texas. The committee system here at Lone Star is active and brisk. We'll have committee reports in a second. Lone Star College Foundation board meeting. As board chair, I am honored to be an ex officio member of the Lone Star College Foundation board. Attended their board meeting recently. A lot of activity going on there, and also want to congratulate the Lone Star College Foundation board members that are rolling off because of term limits, and all of them said that they would remain involved. So it's a testament to the value of the work that they do and the sense of value that they receive from it. Along with Trustee Kane and Trustee Wilson, I attended Lone Star College North Scholarship Luncheon. I then attended the State of Conroe ISD breakfast along with Chancellor Castillo, who committed to purchase a table for the event. And several people thanked me afterwards for Lone Star being part of that fundraising event, which benefits the Lone Star Conroe ISD Education Foundation. Along with my other trustees, I attended Lone Star College Gala. Earlier this week, attended Greater Houston Partnership presentation on the city's 2027 budget. And you might go, why is that important? Because I believe that as the city of Houston goes, we go. And we are a regional economy, and a number of our facilities are in the city of Houston, as well as having faculty and students that are residents as well. And then lastly, yesterday, thanks, Dr. Gonzalez, attended the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce, where Montgomery County Commissioner Matt Gray was the featured speaker. Once again, doing what I can to raise the profile of the institution. So with that, we'll now move into committee reports. I'll call each committee and the committee chair, and you can have the floor. Dr. Kane, we'll start with you, please, for Audit and Finance Committee.
Thank you, Chair. Chair Sullivan and I had the pleasure of an Audit and Finance Committee meeting on April the 28th with Dr. Vian, Ms. Cashman, Ms. Barnett. Dr. Vian presented recommendations for shifting to a transparent annual comprehensive financial report based unrestricted net position methodology for cash reserves moving forward. Based on the recommended definition, current reserves would support 6 months of operations, and that's absolutely outstanding, exceeding minimum policy levels and meeting the goal of G1, T1. The committee supports moving to a new definition for cash reserves. Further analysis of cash reserves versus fund balance will be presented to the committee at the next Audit and Finance meeting. The Audit and Finance Committee recommended that we move forward with the 4th year of engagement with our external auditor, Forvis Mazars, year 4 or 5. The letter was sent to Forvis to extend the engagement for the 4th year for the fiscal year 2026 annual comprehensive financial report. And that engagement will begin in the summer of 2026. Dr. Vian then indicated that approximately $645,000 remained outstanding in recoverable funds for FEMA. It was recommended to the committee that this work be finalized, and then we move forward with closing out all FEMA matters by August 31, 2026. And the committee supported this recommendation. Chief Audit Executive Dina Cashman then provided an overview of the activity case summary internal audit team and their work, reported on the strategic plan for audit and consulting, and provided the activity case summary incidents report. Rising incident trends, particularly in financial aid and admissions applications, have been discussed. Committee calls for enhanced reporting. Multi-year analysis will continue as part of the discussion. And under next steps, finalize and present cash reserve policy options, deliver fraud trend analysis and mitigation plan, and prepare for a June board budget workshop. Bottom line, the committee is prioritizing financial resilience, stronger audit practices, and proactive fraud mitigation while advancing key policy decisions for board consideration. Thank you.
Mic drop, excuse me. Thank you. That was mic drop for good news, not for bad news. Thank you, Dr. Kane, and thank you, Dr. Vian, and to your team for supporting the committee. Next is the ad hoc committee on public policy, policy review, Trustee Saldivar. Thank you. Next is Chancellor Goals and Evaluation Committee, Trustee Murillo.
No report this month.
Okay, thank you. Grievance Committee, Trustee Wilson. Thank you. Committee on Committees, Trustee Kane.
No report this month.
Thank you. Community Engagement Committee, Trustee Mesa.
No updates at this time.
Thank you. Technology Committee, I'll call on Trustee Mesa to read the report, please.
Yes. For May 2026, LSC, Lone Star College System Chatbot, is going to be recognized as an exemplar project in the 2026 EduCause Horizon Report, which is, if it hasn't been published yet, it will be published this month. So we should look out for that. Over 70,600 plus student conversations, which include over 75,000 messages, have been supported since this chatbot's launch in April 1st of last year. It's helped deliver 10,500 advising hours and it saved us system-wide time and money, allowing advisors to focus on student success. 214 participants engaged in cybersecurity AI awareness sessions led by the cybersecurity team. And Wi-Fi upgrades is going to begin at the Health Science Building at Tomball and at Creekside Center. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Mesa. Next committee is Appraisal District Matters. Trustee Kane.
No report this month.
Okay, thank you. And last is board goals. Myself, we are working on board goals, and I have an internal meeting set up with Lone Star to advance that for more information coming forward. I will now give the Lone Star College Foundation report. I want to thank Nicole for sending this over. I was pleased to give welcome remarks on behalf of the entire Board of Trustees at Star Gala this past weekend, which was hosted by the Lone Star College Foundation. This year's event awarded 3 surprise transfer scholarships by our higher education partners to current Lone Star College students. 1 to Sam Houston State University and 2 to the University of Houston downtown. Our chancellor also awarded a scholarship to the spouse of a Lone Star College student transferring to University of Houston downtown. He is a veteran and currently enrolled in the Bachelor of Cybersecurity program and will now have a scholarship to Lone Star College. The program also included the inaugural Alumni Awards, where 4 Lone Star College alumni were recognized. 2 are alumni on the rise and 2 as distinguished alumni. The event raised over $475,000, but more important, it captured the essence of Lone Star College with a message from the chancellor and a focus on students and alumni. And I want to thank all the trustees that attended the Foundation Gala. 8 of us were there: Trustees Saldivar, Wilson, Broussard, Vogt, Murillo, Kane, Mesa, and myself. Next item on the agenda is consideration of the consent agenda. We'll now move forward with consideration of the consent agenda. Are there any items to be pulled for discussion and separate consideration other than item 9, which has been pulled by the administration? Trustee Stoma, anything you want to pull, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Look to my right, look to my left. Very good. All right, may I have a motion to approve items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. A motion by Trustee Wilson. May I have a second? Trustee Saldivar seconded. Thank you. Trustees, please cast your vote when I call your name. Trustee Saldivar. Thank you. Trustee Wilson. Aye. Thank you. Trustee Broussard is absent. Trustee Stoma.
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Mesa.
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Murillo. Thank you. Trustee Vogt.
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Kane.
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Sullivan. I vote aye as well. The item passes. We'll now move to the financial report. Dr. Vienne, if you would approach the podium, please, and give your report.
So reporting the financial statements for month ending March 31st of 2026, as the board can see, through March 31st, we have received $487 million in total revenues of our 448 budgeted total revenues. When you look at our financial statement in terms of expenditures, we have 258 million total expenditures through March. 172 million of that is salaries, 24 million in benefits, and 42 million for services. Taking a look at overall as compared to previous years, again, 487 million of the total budget of 480 million is 88.9% of budgeted revenues in month 7 of 12. So all in all, we're tracking definitely in the right direction and anticipating to be well within, if not exceeding, budgeted reserves for this year. Taking a look at total expenditures, again, 250 million spent of the 529 budgeted expenditure, which represents 48.8% of budgeted expenditures have been finalized through March 31st. Again, leaving 52.2% of budget authority remaining in month 7, with 5 months remaining in this fiscal year. Taking a look at the financial statements, again, one thing that is not reported yet will likely be reported in the upcoming month is that we will likely have a variance in taxes. The good news is actually a positive variance will be reported in next month's financials as we determine that revenues will probably exceed budgeted expectations there. We're still making some adjustments to that. So we do anticipate continued taxes to roll in, and we will meet, if not, we will exceed budget expectations there. So always good when it's a positive variance, but did want to point out that to the board as we have exceeded our budgeted category there. And taking a look at our expenditures, again, $258 million in expenditures month ending March 31st. There's no variances to report in terms of expenditures. So we're tracking where we anticipate with expenditures at this point. Taking a look at the financial statements, again, the board does have additional agenda items in their packet. We will not be receiving an additional funding. We did not, receive any additional funds for Harvey since the last report. As Dr. Kane mentioned earlier, we do have approximately $645,000 remaining in outstanding recoverables related to FEMA. As indicated, it was recommended at Audit and Finance that we finalize this work and then move forward with closing out FEMA in August 31st, as we think that that will be the remainder of what is recoverable to the institution. Taking a look at reserves, as indicated, reserves remain at $212 million for this year based under current definition, and that does not include the board restricted reserve set aside of $101 million. Happy to answer any questions that the board may have regarding the financials.
Good. Thank you, Dr. Vian. I'll poll trustees for questions. Trustees Vogt or Wilson, any questions? Thank you. Trustee Murillo. Trustee Kane. Trustee Mesa. Thank you, Trustee Saldivar. No, thank you, Dr. Vian. Thank you very much. Okay. And need to note for the record that Trustee Stoma left the meeting at 11:50 a.m. Okay, excuse me. Chair recognizes the Chancellor.
Thank you, sir. You mentioned reserves on the revenue side, and you said something along the lines of there's a variance. Do you have any idea as to the sum of that variance right now?
So not related to reserves, but revenue.
I'm sorry, yes.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I just want to make that correction. Yes. We don't fully know at this time. Right now, we've already exceeded budget expectations. We'll have a better report of that next month.
Okay.
But we do anticipate that that will exceed what we had budgeted for this year.
Sure. My only concern, Dr. Vian, and again, these meetings are for the public, right? When the public hears that we're getting more money than we thought,
yes, sir.
I think we have a responsibility to put a dollar figure on that sum, because a lot of money for some people might not be a whole lot of money for others because it's relative, right? And so if we will know by June,
oh, yes, sir. Yes,
then I would encourage you to have that sum ready in June so that we can announce to the world what that sum is so that we all have at least the same figure. Okay.
Yes, sir. That will be on next month's report. Right now, we've received several $1 million more and anticipated. A lot of that has to do with the growth of the tax rolls. But yes, sir, we'll be fully prepared to present that and answer any additional questions.
Yes, ma'am. And just to sort of belabor the point a little bit, several could be 3 or it could be 20.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay.
Thank you, Chancellor. And thank you, Dr. Vian.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. I think we're good. We'll move to the next item on the agenda, which is closed session. The Board of Trustees, in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, will move into closed session under one or more of the following provisions: Section 551.071, Section 551.072, Section 551.074, Section 551.076, and Section 551.0761. And Trustee Stoma has returned to the meeting at 11:54. We'll now move to closed session at 11:54. Thank you. The Board of Trustees. I reconvene this meeting at 12:38 p.m. There's no action to take from closed session. Are there any suggested future agenda items? Trustee Stoma, any future agenda items, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Vogt, Trustee Wilson. Thank you.
No.
Trustee Murillo, Kane, Mesa, myself, none. With no further business to discuss, this board meeting is now adjourned at 12:38 p.m. Thank you.